Shalawam, sister. Shalawam, shalawam. First and foremost, I want to give all the glory and praises to the Most High God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai. Yahushai being the name of whom the word ignorant calls Jesus Christ, for those that don't know. Lord willing, all we're doing was the Spirit. Wanted to get on here and do a quick, shouldn't be too long, a quick kind of dive on what stewardship is. Nothing too in depth, just getting an understanding of what it means to be a good steward and stewarding well what the Most High has given us. So without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and get into it. Um, I originally did this on the Sabbath, but I just felt like it was all over the place, and I had notes and stuff, but it just wasn't my best. So I was like, I'm gonna redo it. Um, when it's quiet, when my kids ain't crying, and so yeah. Hold on, let me move this. And so, Lord willing, this one is good through the Spirit, resonates with somebody if the Most High sees fit. Foundation of precept. First Peter 4:11. If any man speak, let him speak as the oracles of Yahweh. If any man minister, let him do it as of the ability which Yahweh giveth, that Yahweh in all things may be glorified through Yahweh Shai, to whom be praised and demand forever and ever. Amen. So I want to speak the oracles of the Most High. And everything we do and say, it is only the Most High's ability. So we want to give him all the praise and honor and glory because it's only his ability that we're able to understand his word and be able to use our gifts and talents. It's only of his mercy and his grace. We are nothing but dust and ashes. And I also want to go to Hebrews 10:24. And it says, and let us consider one another to provoke unto love and to good works. So I'm on here to provoke my sisters unto love and to good works, to provoke y'all unto good works, to make sure we're being good stewards of what the Most High has given us. So, um, man, what inspired this lesson, really a lot of personal learning and that I have learned over the past few months. And really, a sister asked me for notes on stewardship. I totally forgot that I had notes on it that I've been meaning to do a video on. So it's all praise to Most High and of His perfect timing. So I can. So without further ado, we're gonna get into it. First, I want to get the definition of what does it mean to be a steward. I have it on this PowerPoint that I created here through the Spirit. So we're gonna take a look at it. Stewardship. Do you have it? Because understanding what it means to be a steward, it is taking. Hold on, I'm gonna jump the gun. Just hold on. Before we get the definition, let's read this. First Peter 4:10, and it's also verse 11, which we just read. But as every man have received the gift, even so minister the same one to another as good stewards of the manifold grace of God. If any man speak, let him speak as the oracles of Yahweh. If any man minister, let him do it as of the ability which Yahweh giveth, that Yahweh in all things may be glorified through Yahweh Shai, to whom be praised and demand forever and ever. Amen. So I want to be good stewards of the manifold grace of God. Let's do something really quick. Let's okay. Let's do this. Let's go to verse 10. Each one, as a good manager of God's different gifts, must use for the good of others the special gift he has received from God. So we have to be managers of what the Most High has given us. And what it in the KJV it also said, so like you, let's go back to present, as good stewards of the manifold grace of God. And so what that kind of means to me is because of his grace towards us, his abundant grace. We want to be good stewards. He has so much mercy and grace upon us. So, and because of His grace, He has given us gifts, and we're able to use them. All praise to the Most High. So, we want to make sure that we are being good managers and faithful over the things the Most High has entrusted us, even down to the spiritual things, the physical things, the carnal things, all of it, because it's all a loan, a gift from the Most High God. We don't own anything. He's the potter, we're the clay. So, to be a steward, it means to manage or look after another's property. Okay, again, so the Most High is the owner. We are the, let's think of it like this: the Most High is the landlord. We are just renting things out. Okay, with Most High is he owns everything, and we are the lenders. I'll say that lenders. Stewardship, the job of supervising or taking care of something such as an organization or property. The job of supervising or taking care of something. So to be a steward and to have stewardship means taking care of the things the Most High has given you, taking care of His property, taking care of His belongings, His possessions, your children. Those are the Most High kids before they're yours. And that's something that I've had to learn being a mother, because sometimes my mother bear emotions get the best of me, Sometimes my wife emotions, being a wife, get the best of me. And I have to remember, Lord, this is your son. Lord, shape him, help him, because I can't do it. Obviously, I can help him, but only the Lord can do certain things. Like, so, and again, back to the mother bear thing, there's times where I'm just thinking about all these things and worrying and but I have to remember that the Most High has eyes everywhere. Okay. I am the mother that He has, of course, blessed me to be their mother, and I'm the earthly parent, but there's only so much I can do. This is the Most High's daughter. Okay. He formed her in the womb. So when I can't see, He can. He's protecting her in ways that I never will be able to, because He's the Almighty, has the power. And that's also what comes with stewardship and being a steward, is humbling ourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of God, and knowing that he is in control of all things. This is all His. Let me get this piece up really quick. This is Psalm 24 and 1. The earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof, the world and they that dwell therein. Everything is the Lord's. He owns all this. This is all His. All of it is His. And so let's go to 1 Peter 5:7. So like 6. Humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of God, that He may exalt you in due time. So understanding that being a steward means you have to be humble. You have to be able to be humble. And that's why the Most High doesn't like pride, because we can't be in that spirit and a mindset of, oh, well, I got this and I did this and I accomplished this. And of course, all praise to the Most High, He allows us to accomplish things and obtain things, but it is His mercy and grace and the spirit that works within us, His spirit, because He's doing the work within us. It's nothing of our own good. It's nothing that we've done out of our own will, out of our own plans, out of our own goodness. It is His spirit working within us. So we have to humble ourselves under the mighty hand of the Most High. Understand that being a steward is being humble, realizing and understanding this is the Most High's. I'm just borrowing it. I'm just lending it. This is the Most High's daughter. This is the Most High's son. This is the Most High's possession. And we're just taking care of it. And so we want to make sure that we are being good managers, good stewards, and taking care of that everything the Most High has given us. Anything you own, anything He's given you, anything that He has allowed you to have, it is first His. And so we have to take care of it. And that's how we be faithful to Him. That is a way that we show our faithfulness to the Most High, by taking care of the things He's given us, by being faithful, by being obedient, by being obedient and faithful to the things He's given us. So, Lord, that makes sense. So let's go back to the presentation. I'm be drinking on my tea. My throat is trying to hurt. So I got some clove tea with some fire honey I made. Blessing, no discussion. So, scriptural references. Now, let's get an understanding of biblical definition of stewardship. What is stewardship? Okay. Right here, the word management. Okay, we understand as being a manager. Biblical definition of stewardship: utilizing and managing all resources God provides for the glory of God and the betterment of His creation. The central essence of biblical worldview stewardship is managing everything God brings into the believer's life in a manner that honors God and impacts eternity. Stewardship in the Bible has to do with understanding the importance that your life is not your own. Your life is on alone from God, regardless if you acknowledge this or not. And God calls you to steward everything about your life for His glory and the interest of others. If we understand the principle that everything we own is a gift from God, then we realize that God is the owner of everything and that we are His stewards. As such, we are to use the Master's resources to further the Master's goals. So let's pause on that. Let me get this precept. Romans 9:22. It reads, I'm going to start at 21. Have not the potter power over the clay of the same lump to make one vessel unto honor and another unto dishonor? So the Most High is the potter and we're the clay. He has power over the clay. And so we have to remember that. Let's go back to this. As in the last sentence again, as such, we are to use the Master's resources to further the Master's goal. He's the master. He's the potter and we're the clay. And so we're here to magnify Him, and we're here to glorify Him. Romans 14:7-8. For none of us liveth to himself, and no man dieth to himself. For whether we live unto the Lord, and whether we die unto the Lord. Whether we live, therefore, or die, we are the Lord's. Also, Ecclesiastes 9:10. Whatsoever thy hand findeth to do, do with thy might. For there is no work, nor device, nor knowledge, nor wisdom in the grave whither thou goest. And also, Colossians 3:17 and verse 23. And whatsoever you do in word or deed, Do all in the name of the Lord Yahweh Shai. Give him thanks to Yahweh and the Father by him. Or so if you do it, do it heartily as to the Lord and not unto men. And so these are some things that we have to remember, that everything we set our hand to do, we want to do it wholeheartedly unto the Most High. We want to give it all our might. Everything we do, we want to do all in the name of the Lord, doing it wholeheartedly unto him and not unto men. Because we are here to, everything we do, we're supposed to bring, it's supposed to reflect back into the Most High. Okay, the Most High, people, that's why Yahweh Shah told us to shine our light before men, because people should be able to see us and see the Most High within us. Our light is supposed to shine through the Spirit, that people can know and be like, that's a servant of the Most High right there. She got the Spirit of God on her. You know what I say? She got the Spirit of God on her. That's a child of God right there. Everything we do is supposed to bring the glory back into the Most High. It's supposed to put him in the spotlight. He's supposed to get the glory from it. He's supposed to get the honor. Okay, he's supposed to be put on a pedestal. That's why Christ said, I must decrease or he must increase. Everything we do is to magnify and glorify the name of the Most High. It's not to put ourselves on a pedestal. It's not for us to get praise. Okay, it's for the Most High to get praise. And so understanding that as a steward, you want to make sure that your works and everything you decide to do, the glory goes back to the Father. The glory goes back to the Most High. I have a few videos that I want to show y'all and a few clips I want to read before I finish this PowerPoint, because the PowerPoint isn't long. It's only a few more pages. Now, I got all the posts pulled up, but for some, man, she started doing this, so I start the lesson. Spirit, Satan. But the videos I wanted to show, for some reason, it was not letting me pull it up on my laptop. So I'm going to play it on my phone. Okay, all praise the Most High. I found a little trick to be able to share it. All praises. Satan trying to take away the word, but he can't. So let me start it over. Hold on.
Give you what he has next if you don't steward what you have now. I've had this conversation with my wife so many times now about how easy it is for us to just expect God to do the next thing when we haven't even taken the time to take care of what he's already blessed us with. One of the things that we've been talking about lately is like moving into a bigger house as our family is growing and we're trying to adapt. But it's like, what about what you prayed for right here in front of you? Like, there was a point in time where this house was the house that we dreamed of, and God gave it to us. Fast forward a few years later, we're already thinking about the next thing. There comes a point in time where you're just chasing after these things that can only bring you temporary happiness. Like, if we had to go back to the apartment that we were in before we bought this house, I would have so much more appreciation for what I have right here. And that's such a dangerous place to be, because you're basically taking advantage of God and expecting things to be handed to you just because you're asking. And God has way more grace for us than we have for our kids. But I think it's important for us to check our hearts and realize, like, am I expecting more than what I'm capable of maintaining in this season of my life? I don't know. What do y'all think? God will not give.
I want to harp on, let's read the caption. Faithful stewardship isn't just about receiving blessings. It's about managing them well. What God has given you isn't meant to make you complacent, but to prepare you for more. Stay diligent, stay grateful, and keep going. And so I think oftentimes, and I'm going to speak for myself, from my own personal experience. I remember when I first moved to Georgia. I'm pretty sure most of y'all know that I used to live in Texas. I've talked about it a few times, but I used to live in Texas, and I used to live in a very popping area in Texas. And I relocated to Georgia, and it was different. It was nothing I was used to, right? And so I battled a lot of not being content, not being grateful, complaining a lot. And it had to come to a point where the Most High is, I'm finally learning the lesson and beauty and being a good steward, being content, and making the best of what you have. And so I want to harp on what he said in the video towards the end about sometimes well, again, I'm going to speak from my personal experience when I'm saying this, but I think sometimes our eyes shift, and it's no longer on the end goal. It's no longer on the main focus. Our eyes shift, and it starts to move towards, well, what can I get next? What can I get next? Instead of appreciating what you have now, I think sometimes we want more. And there's nothing wrong with wanting an increase. There's nothing wrong with, wanting a better paying job, or wanting a better house and things of that nature, and wanting another car. But what about the car that you have right now that you are neglecting and that you don't take care of? What about the house that you have now that you complain about, that you don't take care of and keep up with? What about the job you have now? You know what I'm saying? And again, there's nothing wrong with wanting an increase, but I think sometimes, and I definitely have caught myself doing this, there's been times where I'm asking for more on my plate, and I'm not maintaining what's already on my plate. And so that's something I want to harp on in this video about what it means to be a good steward. Being a good steward is, yes, it's taking care of the things the Most High has given you, but it's also not always asking for more when you're not even taking care of what's already on your plate. And then something that I've learned, that sometimes in waiting seasons, it's the Most High preparing you for more. Like his caption said, what God has given you isn't meant to make you complacent, but to prepare you for more. And so sometimes we may be in a season where we feel like we've been decreased, or we have less than what we normally have. But it's really to prepare you for more, and to help you and to help you grow, and to learn how to be content and how to make what you have work, and to hone in on your stewardship skills, because you can't get more when you mismanaging this right here. You want $1 million in your bank account, but you mismanage 1,000. You want 2-3 more cars, but you mismanage the one you have. You want a 4-bedroom house, but you can't even keep your 2-bedroom clean. And so that's something I want to harp on, and want to provoke us to remember. That's what faithful stewardship is as well. So don't feel like you're behind. Don't feel like, I've been decreased, and because the Most High, he does give and take away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. The Most High, he will put you in a season where you're at a high state and you able to give away and give. And sometimes you may be the season where you may have to be on the receiving end, and people won't have to give to you, and you might be in that season where you got to miss out on vacations and miss out on all the fun things, but it's just for a season. So sometimes I know for me, I felt like, dang, I'm behind, or I ain't got this, ain't got that, but count your blessings, because we're blessed than we think. And something else I want to say is, don't always think that blessings are going to be the things that you can see in the physical form. Sometimes the blessing is the work the Most High is doing within you, changing your mindset. But because before he can give you more possessions, before he can increase you another level, he has to do a work within you spiritually and change your heart. And so again, don't feel like you're behind or you got less because you're not in the same position you was months ago, years ago. Because sometimes it's just the Most High teaching you how to maintain what's already on your plate. Because sometimes you're not in a season to maintain what you had 3 seasons ago. So everything is a season. So I know those are my full. I'm going to move on to the next clip I wanted to show. Give me a second, please. Pull it up real quick because it would not let me pull it up originally. Oops, sorry. Let me go. Share my screen again.
God does want for you to be financially free, and the Bible proves it. But where a lot of us get it wrong is we think that financial freedom means making more money. Oh, I'm going to start my business. I'm going to become a millionaire. It's not just the focus of you answering God's call over your life and learning to make more money. No. Doing money God's way and reaching true financial freedom also means that you are stewarding your money well, no matter how little or how much you have. I want to talk about the 2 places of financial stewardship that a lot of us are missing and could be the reason, the roadblock as to why we're not reaching financial freedom, no matter how hard we try. First place, generosity with your money. Second place, paying off your debts. I know we don't want to talk about stuff like this, but we need to if we're going to be doing money God's way and finally reaching financial freedom. In Proverbs 22, verse 7, it says, the borrower is slave to the lender. Stick with me. Then again, in Matthew chapter 22, verse 21, Jesus is being questioned if paying tax is right, in which Jesus replies, give to Caesar's what is Caesar's, who is, the tax man back then, and to God, what is God's. Pay off what needs to be paid instead of complaining about the money that you owe, complaining about the money that you have to pay. Just pay it, just do it, and be intentional about it. If putting the minimal monthly payment towards your debt is all you can do right now, I understand. But if there's even a little extra room where we can work towards paying off our debts a little bit more quickly, then our heart position changes from, I'll just do the minimum to, you know what? No, I value this. I want to steward this better. I'm going to pay off what's owed and just focus on what God has in store for me financially as I go about life or my business God's way. Now, stick with me. I want to talk about the second place, which is giving. Generosity. In Malachi 3:10, God says, bring the whole tithe into the storehouse, that there may be food in my house. Test me in this, says the Lord Almighty, and see if I will not throw open the floodgates of heaven and pour out so much blessing that there will not be room enough to store it. The tithe means 10% of your income and you bringing it to the Lord's house. Now, ideally, yes, this means giving to a church. Pause. Wait. I know a lot of you have church hurt. I know that there's a lot of misled pastors.
Okay, I'm gonna stop there. So the part that I wanted to harp on right there was when she said that financial freedom is not, oh, I can't wait to get this new job and I start getting 30 an hour, and I can't wait till we get this tax money and we can get this new car. Financial freedom is not waiting to get more money. Financial freedom is stewarding the money you have well and making that stretch and making that work. You got to cut out subscriptions, cut them out. If you got to stay in the house a little bit more and miss out on all the fun stuff for a season, then that's what you do. If you got to keep gas in the car, so you're not you're trying to make sure gas in the car stretch, so you can't go to many places throughout the week, that's what you do. Budgeting and tracking what goes in, what goes out. That's what financial freedom looks like. Because there was a time where the bills was billing, okay? It's like they were piling up endlessly and constantly behind. And there came a point where I was like, there has to be a better way. And so I sat down, all praise to the Most High, praying, of course, but I sat down and I just started writing things down and tracking and keeping up with what came in, what came out, being mindful of spending. And sometimes you might find yourself shopping in the dollar section for a season for some things. And that's okay. And that's what I've learned being a steward and being content. It's making the best of what you have and where the Most High has you. Before you can get to that next blessing, before you can get to that increase in that next season, you got to make what you have right here work and make it stretch. So if you get a certain amount of money in your paycheck, write out what bills are due, what needs to be paid, and track it and pay things, whatever works best for your finances, whether it's best to pay it all at once or pay some here and there, whatever you got to do. And that's what I found helps me. We pay here and there. And you gotta make what it's like. You have to find out what works best for you in your Lord's household. But yeah, tracking what comes in, what comes out, and to everything there's a season. So you might got to cut some subscriptions, might got to find some way to make in some extra cash. But again, don't think that, I can't wait to get this new job so I can finally have more money. And again, there's nothing wrong with having more money, but when you get that job and you get more money, will you even know how to manage it? And that's the thing. And that's something I've been praying, like, Lord, whatever is about to come, whatever increase, help us to know how to manage it. You know what I'm saying? Help us to, because sometimes, again, what I was just saying, like the brother said in his video, it's like sometimes we want more, but you're not in a season and capacity to maintain that right now. And that's why you have less, quote unquote, less than what you did before. That's why you have been in a season where the Most High has, kind of humbled you, whatever. You may not be again able to do all the things you usually were doing, and at times it's because you're not in a capacity to handle all that right now, and the Most High knows that. And so sometimes what feels like us as a delay or a prolonged waiting season is really just protection. It's really the Most High's protecting you because He sees the things that we can't see. He knows our spirit. He knows us best, and He knows she says she want this, and she say she was ready for this, but I know if I give her this and I bless her this, she's gonna be stressed out. She ain't gonna have no energy for the kids, her husband, or to keep up the house. She's not gonna read as much. She's gonna pour her away from me. And so to us, it may seem like a delay. It may seem like we're waiting for so long, but it's really the Most High protecting us because He knows we're not in the capacity to handle all that right now. And so I want to keep that in mind as well. So again, there's nothing wrong with the increase, but when you get that new car, will you take care of it? When you get that increase in it financially, will you even know how to manage it? When you get to where you want to go, will you even know how to maintain it? That's the thing. So being a good steward is knowing how to maintain and manage what the Most has already entrusted you to do. And so when you get an increase, if He sees fit, it's smooth sailing. And to her point about tithing, we know we don't do the Christian church. We're not affiliated with the Christian church, but give alms to the congregation that you're in. It doesn't have to necessarily be a specific amount, set amount, whatever you and your congregation have set up. But give alms if you can. And alms is not always monetary. It's giving away clothes to the poor, or making making some food for a friend, or making food for the poor, or asking, or even praying for sisters, asking a sister, hey, how can I help you in this area? You need me to come over and watch the kids? Like, there's a lot of ways you can give alms. So that again, that is also how stewardship looks like. Don't say, oh, I'm just gonna wait till I get more money to give alms. Give alms and do what you can now. If you got some clothes you can give away, give that away. If you got some extra time in your hands to put more, to do more works for the body, for the nation, for the congregation you're in, for the nation in general, for the most, build up the Most High's ministry and to magnify His name, do that. If you got some extra funds to make extra food for the feast days, or extra food to give to the poor, then do that. You got some extra time in your hands to maybe make some clothes and put some printers on the clothes to give away to some people, or to watch your sister kids so she can go have some me time, or get her nails and toes done, whatever the case may be. Do what you can with what you have. Be content with where the Most High has you. We want more, we want more, we want more. And I've said this before in some episodes me and Lily has done. And I was watching this video, it was like some years ago, and a sister said that her YouTube is The Habits of a Homemaker. She has some nice videos. But she was saying how her daughter was asking for more food one time, and she said, you asking for more food, but you're not even finishing what's on your plate right now. And that's a way to look at stewardship. You're asking for more, but what's on your plate right now, you mismanage. You're poorly handling it. And so being a good steward, being a faithful steward, being a faithful steward is doing the best what we have right now that the Most High has already given us, being faithful with it, being a faithful steward, and magnifying and glorifying Him in all things, because no matter what season you're in, He has you there for a reason. And you gotta make something shake. You got to make something shake and be faithful with the things He's given you, because He didn't have to give you anything, and it could be worse. It could be so much worse, but you are blessed. Blessed beyond blessed. There's a lot of people out here that don't even know where their next meal is coming from, that have to sleep in the cold on the concrete, and we're complaining. So we just have to change our mindset, Let me. Sirach 39 and 26. The principal things for the whole use of man's life are water, fire, iron and salt, flour, wheat, honey, milk, and blood of the grape, and oil and clothing. See that? Got everything we need. You got everything we need. I think there's another one here. 1 second. Sirach 29 and 21. The chief thing for life is water and bread and clothing and a house to cover shame. Better is the life of a poor man in a mean cottage than delicate fare in another man's house. Be it little or much, hold thee contented, that thou hear not the reproach of thy house. Be it little or much, hold thee contented. Is that contented? Hold thee contented. Contented. So I can't look this word up. Contented means happy and at ease. Content. Feeling. Let's go to content. In a state of peaceful happiness, willing to accept a particular thing, satisfied, gratified, pleased, happy, cheerful, fulfilled. And so Sirach just told us in 29 and 21, no matter what you have, be content. Be it little or much, be content. Because we don't have to have anything. This is the Most High's mercy and grace. First Thessalonians 5 and 18, and everything give thanks, for this is the will of Yahweh and Yahweh shall concern you. And everything give thanks, because it could always be worse. And this is His mercy and His grace. So let's go back to actually we can read a few of these. So I went on Instagram and I typed in stewardship so I can share it, and so I could make it make sense and put it in a practical lens that we can apply to our lives. And I came across this post. Sisters of Virtue. This is a very beautiful post, by the way. It's the True Nation Sisterhood. It has some good content. So stewardship is worship. He that is faithful in that which is least is faithful also in much. And he that is unjust in the least is unjust also in much. Okay. Oh, sorry. Dang, I was all at the end. Shoot, let me go back. Stewardship, honoring God with all He has entrusted to us. So time is one of our most limited and irreplaceable gifts. We cannot store it, pause it, nor regain what has passed. Learning to number our days means living with intentionality, discernment, and purpose rather than wasting our days on things that do not profit. How we steward our time reveals what we truly value. Psalm 90 and 12 teach us to number our days that we may apply our hearts unto wisdom. Talent and gift. Every ability we possess, spiritual, creative, intellectual, or practical, is given by the Most High for service. Gifts are not for self-examination, but to strengthen and build others. Faithful stewardship means developing these gifts, refining them, and using them for righteousness rather than letting them lay dormant or misused. For 1 Peter 4 and 10, and we read this earlier through the Spirit, as every man have received the gift, even so minister the same one to another. Family and home. Scripture connects sobriety to a woman's conduct, not her silence. It's clarity of mind, restraint, and awareness of how we represent ourselves, of how we present ourselves. Submission starts when a woman brings order to her thoughts, behavior, and presence. Joshua 24:15. But as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. Responsibility. Faithfulness is measured not by how much we possess, but how well we manage what we have. Stewardship demands accountability. One day we will give an account for how we handled our time, gifts, households, influence, and resources, not compared to others, but according to what we were given. 1 Corinthians 4 and 2. Moreover, it is required of stewards that a man be found faithful. And that's the spirit, because that's one of our verses. And then Luke 16 and 10, what we just read, stewardship is worship. He that is faithful in that which is least is faithful also in much, and he that is unjust in the least is unjust also much. So I want to be faithful in the little things, because it says, he that is faithful in that which is least is faithful also much. He that is unjust in the least is unjust also much. So we will really be fooling ourselves if you think once you get the new job, you're going to really know how to budget money when you don't even know how to budget what you got now. And so we really be fooling ourselves to think, because how are you going to be faithful in big things when you're unfaithful in the small things? If you're unjust in the least, you're going to also be unjust in much. And if you're faithful in that which is least, you're going to be faithful in much. So don't fool yourself, tricking yourself, thinking, oh, when I get this increase, when I get this season, when I get this, and when I get that, then I'm going to really show out. Then I'm going to really have it together. Have it together now. Get it together now. Make what you got work now. Because if you're not going to be faithful now, you ain't going to be faithful then. You can't be faithful when you get it. You can't be faithful when you get an increase, but you're not faithful in little things. That's scripture. So don't fool ourselves. And then we want to be careful, because we're constantly praying for something. Hey, you won't want the Most High to give us over to that, because Most High be like, all right now, okay, this is she wants so bad. It's no different than when we wanted a king so bad. The Most High gave us over into our ruin, and He gave us King Saul, and it wasn't good for us. But we wanted one so bad. We wanted a king so bad. So don't want something so bad. And, it really is not for your profit, but for your demise. It's not going to help you grow. It's not going to be profitable for you. But because you want it so bad, and you can't even foresee the evil that may come with that, the Most High might give over to that. Like, okay, she's going to learn the hard way because she's just not getting it. I'm trying to protect her. I'm trying to teach her stewardship. I'm trying to teach her how to be content. She's just not getting it. So she wants this increase so bad, but she knows she can't maintain. She knows she can't deal with it right now. Since she wants it so bad, I'm going to give it to her. So be careful that we're not giving them to our ruin. The caption says, stewardship is not merely about managing resources. It is about honoring the Most High with everything He has entrusted to our care, our time, our gifts, our husbands, so like our households, which are divine assignments. Nothing we have is truly ours. We are caretakers. He is the owner. Scripture teaches that faithfulness starts small. Promotion, increase, and favor are tied to how we steward what we already possess. May we be found faithful in the little things, because it is from the little that the Most High builds the much. It is from the little that the Most High builds the much. Promotion, increase, and favor are tied to how we steward what we already possess. So you might be wondering why I've been in this season so long. Dang, why? And the Most High do what He want to do. The Most High's not a genie. He works on His own time. He don't work on our time, okay? And just because we pray for something don't mean we're going to get it right away. And that's also something that I have had to learn. All praise the Most High. But promotion, increase, and favor are tied to how we steward what we already possess. So maybe wondering, dang, I've been feel like I'm in the season for so long, and I've been praying for this, I've been praying for that. But it's tied to how you steward what you already possess. So maybe you haven't feel like you've gotten that increase yet, because you're not really doing anything what you have now. Okay, so all praise the Most High. Let's get a few more scriptures before we read any more posts. Give me 1 second. Oops. Okay, let's go to 1 Corinthians. 1 Corinthians 6 and 15. Know ye not that your bodies are the members of Christ? Shall I then take the members of Christ and make them the members of an harlot? God forbid. I'm gonna jump down to verse 19. What? Know ye not that your body is a temple of the Holy Ghost, which is in you, which you have of God, and you're not your own? For you are bought with a price. Therefore glorify God in your body and in your spirit, which are God's. We are bought with a price. We were bought with the blood of Yahushua. We were bought with the blood of Christ. Our body is not our own. We are here to, it says, therefore glorify God in your body and your spirit, which is God's, which are God. This is all the Most High. So we're here to glorify Him in body and in spirit with everything we said I do. We're here to glorify the Most High. Our body is not our own. Let's go to Matthew 25 and 23. And that's what realizing, that's what we have to realize, what being a faithful steward is. Again, what we were saying, what I was saying earlier through the Spirit, that everything is of the Lord. Everything is all His. We're just borrowing it. We're here to glorify Him. It's all His. And that's why we have to humble ourselves, because sometimes people may like to be prideful and think, and there's actually people that think like this, unfortunately, but that think, no, I did this. It wasn't God, which is folly and foolish to say. But some people actually think like that. And that's why the scripture tells us to humble ourselves therefore in the mighty hand of God. Because some people don't humble themselves under the Most High. They really think that they did it and it's all of them, but it's not. And the Most High can bring you down off your high horse. But let's read Matthew 25 and 22. He also that had received 2 talents came and said, Lord, thou deliverest unto me 2 talents. Behold, I have gained 2 other talents beside them. His Lord said unto him, well done, good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I'll make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord. So, I'm gonna keep reading. Then he which had received the 1 talent came and said, Lord, I knew that thou art an hard man, reaping where thou hast not sown and gathering where thou hast not strawed. And I was afraid, and when hid thy talent in the earth, lo, there thou hast is thine. His Lord answered and said unto him, thou wicked and slothful servant, thou knewest that I reap where I sowed not and gather where I have not strawed. Thou oughtest therefore to have put my money to the exchangers, and then at my coming I shall receive my own with usury. Take therefore the talent from him and give it unto him which hath 10 talents. For unto everyone that hath shall be given, he shall have abundance. But for him that have not shall be taken away even that which he hath. And cast ye the unprofitable servant into outer darkness, there shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. So we see that the unfaithful servant that did not use his talents to glorify the Most High, that was fearful and scared and hid his talents, he was cast into outer darkness, and he was called an unprofitable servant, and his talents was taken away from him. But the servants that when they multiplied their talents, they were called faithful servants. Well done, my good and faithful servant. And so we want to ultimately hear, well done, good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I'll make thee ruler over many things. And so in order to be a ruler over many things, and for the Most High to give you many things, you have to be faithful over a few things He's already given you. So don't feel discouraged if you feel like you got a few things. Don't feel discouraged if you feel like you're lacking, because you're not lacking. You have everything that you possibly need and way more than you have, because the Most High, He gives abundance. And everything is of Him, our person, Most High. You don't feel like you have less, but be faithful over what He has given you. Be faithful over those few things. Be faithful over those small things. Be faithful over that, because you can't be faithful over the many things if you're not faithful in the small things. So let's go to Luke 16 and 10. I'm going to read one. And he said unto his disciples, and he said also unto the disciples, there was a certain rich man which had a steward, and the same was accused unto him that he had wasted his goods. And he called him and said unto him, how is it that I hear this of thee? Give an account of thy stewardship, for thou mayest be no longer steward. Okay, so let's notice how it said he had wasted his goods. Don't waste your goods. Don't waste the things the Most High has given you. Let's read verse 1 in the GNT. Yahushua said unto his disciples, there was once a rich man who had a servant who managed his property. The rich man was told that the manager was wasting his master's money. So he called him in and said, what is this I hear about you? Turn in a complete account of you handling of my property, because you cannot be my manager any longer. Just know that everything, like the post said in the Sisters of Virtue post, we're going to all have to account for what we did and didn't do. The Most High going to say, hey, turn it over. I want to see everything you've done. Romans 14 and 12, we all have to give account of unto the Most High. We all have to stand before the judgment seat of Christ, as 2 Corinthians 5:10 tell us. And so notice also in verse 1, it said the manager was wasting his master's money. The Most High knows and sees all things. He knows if we're wasting his goods. We don't want to waste the things the Most High has given us. And it says manager. So we are managers. The steward means being a manager of what the Most High has given you. And then you don't want the Most High to be like, look, nah, you can't be you can't be my manager no more. You fired. You fired. Y'all know that that scene off of Cat in the Hat when he was like, fired. Hey, that's how, we don't want the Lord to be like that to us. So let's go to Romans 14. All right, Romans 14 and 12. So then every one of us shall give account of himself to God. All of us going to have to give account unto the Most High. And so let's keep that in mind. So are we stewarding what we have well? Because we're all going to have to answer for that. We're all going to have to answer for, did you take care of my possessions? Did you take care of my property? Did you manage them well? Are you tending to your children how you should? Are you, etc. We're going to get into that in a minute. We're going to get into some examples, some examples that we can think about. Am I misspelling Corinthians? Okay. 1 Corinthians 4:1. Let a man so account of us as the ministers of Christ and stewards of the mysteries of God. Moreover, it is required in stewards that a man be found faithful. We want to be found faithful. Are you a faithful steward? As the mysteries and stewards of the mysteries of God. Now, we don't have the deep breakdown parable mysteries like the men do, but he has shown us his word. That we're Israelites, and he's shown us his secrets unto us. And so that is a beautiful blessing. And we don't want to take these things for granted. So are you a faithful steward? Are you a faithful manager? Okay. So let's go back. Okay. Ways to be a good steward. Okay, here are some ways. So whatever resource and talents the Lord has given you, use them to serve him, use them to glorify and magnify his name and to better his ministry. Use what you have, make the best of what you have. Overall, managing and being wise in what the Most High has given you to reflect him within you and to glorify him. Another word in the definition was manage. So managing the things the Lord has given us. This could be your home, keeping your home clean, actively and diligently tended to it and not allowing things to consistently pile up, deep cleaning when need be, and overall ordering your home right, having structure, taking care of your home. Work, whether it's school, your own business, showing up and giving it your all, even in the workplaces or at school. We don't do things for them. We do it unto the Lord. So yeah, you might have, and you don't want to move this attitude, but yeah, we know that the so-called white man is not, is the okay? And we know these things, but don't go in a workplace like, you freaking devil, I'm not finna do nothing you tell me, I don't care, F this job, I don't need this job, I'll do whatever I want to do. You come, and you might not say that, but you might show that in your actions. You might coming in late all the time, your boss tell you to do something, you're always rolling your eyes, mumbling under your breath, you half doing your work. Don't be like that, because you're not doing it for them. Don't go into your workplace or going to school being nasty to your professors, being nasty to your bosses, and then half doing the work. That ain't doing nothing but making you look bad. And last time I checked, we're supposed to be a light. Our light is supposed to shine. People are supposed to look at us and know that we are a child of the Most High God and that the Most High is within us, because people are supposed to see us and see a reflection of the Most High within us, not ourselves. And so don't go to work in school half doing it, half a word in it, being nasty because you hate captivity. You can't stand a white man. And yeah, those things are true. Oppression makes the wise man mad. But use wisdom and remember that we do all things unto the Most High, as Colossians 3:17 and verse 23 tells us. So be a hard worker and be without blame. Give them no reason to speak evil of you. Finances, being responsible with the money the Most High has entrusted us with. That looks like tracking and budgeting your finances, what goes in and what goes out, as well as not unnecessary splurging, overspending, or living above your means. Talents and gifts, using your talents to help the nation and build up the ministry and magnify the name of the Lord, as we are all members of the body. In your temple, regularly exercising to stay in shape and filling your temple with foods that nourish and fuel you. Okay, some examples in the Bible. These are just a few examples because everything our foreparents did was stewarding what the Lord gave them, whether it was stewarding well or unwell. So Joseph overseeing Potiphar's house, Noah in the ark, the Most High giving Adam and man, so like the Most High giving Adam, man dominion over the whole earth, in Matthew 25, parable of the talents. Okay, so here are some scenarios we could think about. It's like here. All right, wrap this up. All right. So this is for time. You have somewhere to be, but you stay up late scrolling and binging. You sleep in, wake up late, and now you're rushing. You took the peace out of it and the fun out of it. Versus going to bed at an appropriate time, disciplining yourself with the phone and TV, and waking up early so you aren't rushing. Two different instances. So you either steward your time well or you don't steward it well. This is just one example. But we want to make sure we're stewarding our time well. Are you making your days count, or are you just lounging around on the couch, letting time pass you by? Are you actually getting things done and being productive, working towards your goals? Not being lazy. Are you really doing the best you can each and every day? And I'm not saying you got to burn yourself out or have a full packed day to be busy and productive, but we want to make sure that we're being productive with the time the Most High has given us. We want to make sure that we are using this time, because you can't get time back. So how are you using your time to honor the Most High? How are you using your time to say, thank you, Lord, for giving me this time? Because like that, it's a quote that say procrastination is an arrogant assumption that God owes you another chance to do what he gave you the chance to do today. Okay, so don't procrastinate. Money and talent. So they got me spilled money at the top. Oh gosh. Don't we? Dang, that was the first thing that caught my eye. Anyways, you get a certain amount of money, and there's a bill coming up. You spend all of the money on food, clothes, etc. Now you're short on what's actually important. You have to ask for additional money. Versus being wise with finances and budgeting on what you could spend and saving the rest for what's important, a bill. We all fall on hard times, but that's poor stewardship because money was mismanaged. So again, we all fall on hard times. There's nothing wrong with, hey, can I borrow some money? I'll pay you back when I'm able to, because we all go through hard seasons at times. But there's a difference in knowing that you have money. There's a difference in knowing that. There's no different than we know Purim coming up. And so I'm sure most of us are trying to save a little money aside so we have enough money for some gifts. There's no difference than knowing that something important is coming up or knowing a bill is coming up. And so we're saving your money and using it wisely. And so that way, when bills are due or when Purim is coming up and important life events are coming, you don't have to scramble and ask 50 million people for more money or constantly dig under your savings because you managed your money well. So that's a huge one. Budgeting your money and not mismanaging it. And there's nothing wrong with having a good time. And, because Sirach 14:14 tells us not to defraud ourselves of a good day. So there's nothing wrong with going out and having a good time and enjoying this life the Most High has given us. But even at that, we want to make sure that we have good stewardship, because if you need to put money aside. And of course, we say YOLO, but that doesn't give us an excuse to every time we go out, we just splurge and spend hundreds of dollars, and we know that we have important things coming up. So now you went out to eat, and and you went shopping, and now you $50 short on a bill when you could have you had the money to pay the bill had you not spent all of it out. So that's what I'm basically getting at. Being wise with your money, and if you know there's something important coming up or bill, budget and save and set it aside instead of splurging and spending on unnecessary things that could have waited. Balance with everything. All right, talents. But the Most High has blessed you with a gift to know how to make clothes. You're scared of what people may think, so you don't put yourself out there and sell any clothes. You sit on your talents and hide them in the earth, versus having courage and putting yourself out there, using your talents to glorify the Most High, not moving in the spirit of fear, and knowing that we can do all things through Christ, and the Most High is with you. Fear is an emotion we feel in the flesh, but we can't give into it and ignore what the Most High has put in our spirit, because that's disobedience. So if the Lord has given you a talent and a gift, use that thing. Okay. Fear is a natural emotion, being in the flesh, but Yahweh have not given us the spirit of fear, but of power, of love, and of a sound mind. 2 Timothy 1:7. So do not give into that fear and live in that fear. Take a leap of faith and have courage. Deuteronomy 31:6 tells us, let's get it. Let's read it. And also Isaiah 41:10. Be strong and of good courage. Fear not, nor be afraid of them, for the Lord thy God, he it is that doth go with thee. He will not fail thee nor forsake thee. So be strong and of good courage. Do not fear. The Most High is with you, and he will guide you and direct you every step of the way. And he's holding us up with his right hand. All right. All right, family and body. When it comes to spending time with your family, you can't have a conversation without looking at your phone or being quickly annoyed. You don't set aside quality time to read to your children or teach them, letting them be glued to a TV nonstop, versus having a balance with screens, pouring into your children, and having set aside time with them to play with them and to teach them, enjoying time with your family without having your phone in your hand, every conversation of being loving and patient with them. So this is just an example you can steward your family and children well. Nothing wrong with screens. I'm not telling moms to never use a screen. I'm not saying we can never use our phones. I'm not saying that. And even on a regular day basis, I'm not saying you got to sit down and play with your child all day and teach them all day, because that's not even reality in life. You got to cook, you got to go to the grocery store, you got to tend to the other children. So that's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying we want to make sure that we are setting aside quality, being intentional about setting aside time to pour into our children, to teach them, to read to them, to give them this word, and to give them some the attention that they need at the age that they are at. um and having a balance, man, not always being on your phone, because if you're always, I mean, if you're constantly disconnected, or annoyed, or in your phone with your family, disconnected, then how are you stewarding it well? How are you taking care of them if you're out of touch and disconnected from them because you're constantly overstimulated because of the phone and because of this and because of that? So if you need to, take a step back, take a break from the phones, take a break from whatever is pulling at you, and pour back into yourself, and pour back into your cup, so you can be as effective as you can for your family. All right, body. Overeating slash gluttonous or undereating, not in righteousness, to force yourself to become skinnier, not working out regularly and or eating very unhealthily, lots of unprocessed foods, not enough whole food nutrition, versus having a well balanced diet, having temperance when it comes to food, not overeating or undereating, and regularly working out to stay in shape, honoring our temple. So kind. And forgive me for the typo. Second project. I really reread this thing like a million times and I didn't catch the typos, so my bad. But that's a way to take care, have good stewardship of your temple, because again, our body's not our own. So we want to make sure that we're working out, because y'all, in Jacob's trouble, we don't got time to be out of breath. You're gonna have to be able to have good stamina and endurance. Okay, being skinny does not also, and being skinny doesn't mean being shape and healthy. Just because you're skinny, and this is no shade to my skinny sister, but just because we are skinny does not mean we are healthy and shape and fit. So we want to make sure that we have good stamina, we're able to endure, and we're taking care of our temples. We eating good, well balanced meals, having a good, well balanced diet, and not overindulging, having temperance, limiting the sugar intake, limiting the fast food, or limiting, just trying. And if we know that we are in the land of our captivity, eating defiled bread, but doing the best that we can, and trying to make sure that we are making healthy, nutritious meals for our family, and filling our body with foods that are good and nourishing to our bodies, because this is the most highest temple. So don't defile your temple, and take care of yourself. Work out, because you want to be a healthy mom for your children as well. Your kids gonna want to go to the water park and go and do all this fun stuff, and you're gonna be, hold on, I'm coming. You don't want to be like that. Don't be out of shape. So, and also in Jacob's trouble, again, Jacob's trouble, we ain't gonna have time to be, hold on, I need to catch my breath, I need to catch my breath. And you might need to catch it for a few 30, maybe 5, 10 seconds. But look, we're gonna have to be on the go. We're gonna be pilgrims on earth. So let's get in shape and take care of ourselves. So here's some questions to ask yourself. Do you have good stewardship in your finances, or do you lack responsible money managing skills? Do you have good stewardship at your job or at school, or do your work, you don't really put any effort into it? Do you have good stewardship in your home? Are you lazy and procrastinate constantly, let laundry and dishes constantly pile up? Rarely deep clean and remove clutter and excess dust. Do you have good stewardship towards your body, isn't even our own, or do you fill it with all kinds of processed sugars and foods, and defile with excess alcohol and smoke? Do you have good stewardship towards your talents, or do you sit on them and don't use them to help diminish and glorify the Lord and magnify Him? Do you have good stewardship towards your loved ones? Are you hospitable? Excuse me. Do you show love and compassion, or do you gossip, have respect to persons, act funny, and always problematic? All praise was high. Okay, so that was it on that. Our praises. So I'm gonna read these two posts and then we can go ahead and wrap it up. 5 ways to start stewarding what God has given you, even in a busy season. Time. We can do more with less. Less distractions, less yes to the things that don't fit in this season of life. Pray for wisdom and discernment to manage your time well. 2, resources. Meal prep with leftovers. Make more food from scratch in bulk and use what you have before you go and buy more. 3, energy. God gave your body signals. Use them. Rest when you need rest. Work harder when the clarity, energy, and motivation is there to do more. Find the balance in the in-between. Pray for the Holy Spirit guidance through it all. Number 4, home. Stop striving for a Pinterest perfect home and find ways to love what you have and make it special to you and your family. Pray for a constant sense of peace in your home and surrender the striving and consumerism. Number 5, priorities. Every yes costs something, and every no provides the capacity to say yes to your priorities. What are you prioritizing in the season, and is it in line with who God is calling you to become? And her caption says, Stewardship doesn't usually look like big spiritual moments or one overarching goal. Stewardship is developed in the tiny, mundane decisions that lead into habits that form who we are and how we spend our time, finances, energy, and otherwise. Stewardship looks like choosing presence over productivity, eating leftovers instead of overcomplicating dinner, saying no without guilt so your yes can be faithful, resting before you're completely depleted. God didn't ask us to do everything. He's asked us to be faithful with what's already in our hands. In Luke 16 and 10, we read, one who is faithful in a very little is also faithful in much, and one who is dishonest in a very little is also dishonest in much. For busy moms and women, stewardship is less about striving and more about intention, realizing there's holiness found in the everyday rhythms, in the slow mornings, the lived in homes, the quiet obedience that no one else sees, and our yeses and our nos, and the balance found in the in between. And if this season feels full, let this be a reminder: you're not failing, you're learning how to steward well. And this is really well put. I want to harp on stewardship is developed in the tiny, mundane decisions. Okay, so stewardship is also not some big don't overcomplicate it. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't overthink, because the Most High's word is not grievous. His law is not grievous unto us. It's the small things that matter. It's the small, tiny choices you make on a day-to-day basis. Okay, so um, watch this. It says, I can't explain it, but every time my wife does this, the money starts flowing again. It says, they say wealth flows when there's order, and I've found that to be 100% true. Every week, all 7 of us clean and organize one space in our home. We simplify and only keep what is needed. We dust, vacuum up, and put the area in order. And here's what I've noticed every single time we do something like this. When you clear out what no longer serves you, you make room for what's next. There's a scripture that says, whoever can be trusted with very little can also be trusted with much. Hey, I think we done read this about 4 times on this lesson. All praises. That's not just about money. It's about stewardship, showing that you can take care of what you already have so you're ready for more. Every time we organize a space in our home, it's like new opportunities, new income, and new peace start flowing in. It's not coincidence, it's alignment. If you've been feeling stuck, craving more clarity, creativity, or even financial momentum, start by cleaning your space. It's amazing what God can do with a clean garage and open heart. So, and I don't go thinking now, once you clean that garage, you're finna get a blessing in the next day. I mean, the most I can do that, but I'm not knocking that. The most I can do anything. I'm not saying, I'm not trying to rain down your parade and cause your, because we want to have great faith, but I feel like how he worded the caption make it seem like as soon as you organize something, you're gonna get blessing. Again, the most I can do, you want to, but also remember, be patient, and the most I don't work on our time. So, we want to be faithful and obedient because that's what he commands of us, not because we're expecting something in return. Not that he's saying that, but that's just my 2 cents. But that's really all I had. I did not expect it to be this long, but I hope this was helpful to someone. All praise to the Most High. Give me 1 second. I want to see if I want to read these last few examples. I feel like I kind of touched on enough examples and ideas of what good stewardship versus bad stewardship is. But I'm just gonna briefly go through them. Okay, so here are some good versus bad stewardship. Time, managing time so God, family, and rest aren't leftovers. Planning ahead instead of always rushing. Saying no to distraction to pull you from your calling. Money, budgeting and living within your means. Giving, saving, avoiding unnecessary debt. Taking care of what you already have instead of always replacing it. Money, family, and relationships. Being present with your spouse and children. Teaching children values instead of letting screens raise them. Choosing peace and communication over pride. Using skills to serve, gifts and talents, using skills to serve others, teaching, cooking, building, encouraging, growing what God gave instead of burying it, being faithful in small things, even when unseen. Body and health, resting when needed, eating intentionally and avoiding excess, not abusing your body through neglect or overindulgence, and creation/resources, using resources with gratitude, not entitlement, taking care of your home, land, or community, not wasting water, food, or supplies. Okay, so bad stewardship time would be constant procrastination, letting distractions run your day, always too busy for prayer, family, or growth. So I'm not saying you got to have a strict schedule, but I did that video uploaded about 6 tips to keep your home in order. One of the things I did put on that video through the Spirit was planning goals, setting out things you want to do for the day. That doesn't necessarily have to be a set schedule, but have an idea of what you want to get done for that day or for the week. Don't just wake up and go with the flow and wing it. Okay, have some type of goal that you're going to aim towards for that day or for that week. And I'm not saying you got to have a full Jack Pam schedule or day to be busy or productive, but you want to make sure you're getting stuff done to be a better you. It's you versus you, baby. Come on now, get it together. Get it together. We becoming better versions of ourselves. Okay. Money, spending impulsively, ignoring bills or responsibilities, wanting luxury without discipline. So again, there's nothing wrong with going out and having a good time in this life. We're supposed to. The Most High wants us to enjoy this life, because when Jacob's trouble hit, this gonna be the worst time we've ever seen in life. So enjoy this time right now that He's giving us. Defraud not thyself of a good day, but be wise with your money. Don't ignore the responsibilities. Don't ignore your bills. You know, if you got some money to splurge, hey, do that thing. But make sure you have leftover and enough saved aside for what's truly important, the bills and the things you may need for the home and the things you may need for the kids. Like, for example, if you're getting a certain allowance or your husband is expecting you to make that stretch for that day or for that week, like if you go out with a friend and he give you an allowance, or if you get a weekly or bi-weekly allowance, make that stretch. There's no reason why we should be like, now I would say personally, there used to be a time where I would get a paycheck and I would splurge it and spend it in a drop of a dime. This is when I first moved to Georgia. When I first moved to Georgia, and I've grown so much, all praise the Most High. But there was a time my husband used to get on me. I used to get paid, and then I would ask him for some money. He'd be like, "Didn't you just get paid?" And I'd be like, "Yeah." And he would be mad. He wouldn't be mad, but he'd get on to me like, "You tripping now? You just got paid. There's no reason why all your money should be gone." And so that's what I mean. If you are getting a paycheck, or if your husband is getting you an allowance, there's no reason why we should be calling again, ask, "Hey, can you send me some more?" I just gave you money. What you mean? What you spend it that? What you spend it on? You didn't think to. And so what I've learned is, when you get some money, again, there's nothing wrong with going out and enjoying this life and things like that. We should do those things in righteousness, right? But what I've learned is, personally, is when you get some money, don't get finger happy. Like, "Oh, I'm gonna buy everything." Nah, I'm gonna buy everything now. There's something I've learned: when you get money, act like you're still broke. Act like you're still broke. When I said it, I mean, when you get some money, don't just go buying everything just because you have it, because then you're gonna find yourself broke. Learn to have restraint even when you have things, so you can have, and you can find yourself saving more and having more set aside for the things that are actually important and the things that actually matter. So, family relationships, being emotionally absent, prioritizing work, habits, or phone over people, refusing correction or accountability. Gifts and talents, comparing instead of cultivating, being lazy with what you've been given, hiding gifts out of fear and insecurity. And again, fear is a natural emotion. It's a natural emotion that we're going to feel in the flesh, but don't give in to that, okay? Because we can do all things through Yahweh Shai that strengthens us. Body and health, chronic neglect, no rest, poor nutrition, burnout, using substances or habits that harm long-term health, treating the body as disposable instead of entrusted. So get your rest. And that's something I'm working on in this season, getting more rest. Poor nutrition, make sure you eat some good food. And creation of resources, wastefulness, neglecting responsibility until things fall apart, exploiting rather than caring for what's been entrusted. So overall, stewardship, I would say it's, again, making what you have work, maintaining what's already on your plate, being faithful in the small things, managing the things the Most High has entrusted us with, being grateful, being content, and learning how to stretch things out. Like, again, back to the money thing. If you get that, let's say $70, and of course in this day $70 ain't nothing. The way inflation is hitting, it's better than nothing though. But let's say you get $70. Instead of spending all that $70 in one place or in two places, disperse it, stretch it. Okay. That goes to paychecks, whatever allowance you get from your husband, whatever the case may be. Okay. Don't use up all your resources in one sitting. Okay. So let's get on some biblical examples to make it bring it full circle. All right. Good stewardship. Yahushua withdrew to pray. He had ministry demands, but still guarded time with the Father. Luke 5:16. But Yahushua often withdrew to lonely places and prayed. All right. Bad stewardship would be procrastination and delay. Proverbs 6:9. How long will you lie there, you sluggard? All right, let's go to Proverbs 6. Proverbs 6:9. How long wilt thou sleep, O sluggard? When wilt thou rise out of thy sleep? Yet a little sleep, a little slumber, a little fold into the hands to sleep. So how long are you going to sit there, sis? How long are you going to sit on your talents? How long are you going to sit on that money, not give alms? How long you gonna sit and not work out and take care of your temple? How long you gonna sit and scroll on that phone and not get stuff done? How long you gonna sit and not tend to your children or your home or your husband? How long you gonna sit there, sis? I mean, even our hair stewardship. That's something I'm working on too. Oh, because my hair is so thick. Thank you, Lord. But oh my goodness. All right, money and resources. Joseph stored during abundance. Good stewardship. Let them collect all the food and store it. So let's go to Genesis 41. This is the last thing I'm gonna get, and then like the last few examples, and then I'm done. Genesis 30, so like 41 and 34. Let Pharaoh do this, and let him appoint officers over the land, and take up the fifth part of the land of Egypt in the 7 plenteous years, and let them gather all the food of those good years that come, and lay up corn under the hand of Pharaoh, and let them food in the cities, and let them keep food in the cities. So like it. Planning ahead instead of reacting in crisis. So being stewardship is also being proactive and not reactive. Bad stewardship, bearing your gift that we read in Matthew 25. He was afraid and he hid his talent in the ground. All right. Family and responsibility. Proverbs 22 and 6. Let's go to that. Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he would not depart from it. So training our children intentionally. Okay. Bad stewardship. Eli ignoring his son's sins and neglect through selfishness, being a lover of yourself. 1 Samuel 2 and 29, because we also know that the Bible tells us in Philippians 2, we'll just go read it. But what was that? 1 Samuel 2 and 29. Wherefore kick ye at my sacrifice and in my offering, which I have commanded in my habitation, and honors thy sons above me, to make yourselves fat with the chiefest of all the offerings of Israel, my people. And I was actually talking to my husband about this today. I was telling my husband, I was like, growing up, it's like, I'm gonna just say this. I was telling my husband this today, that when you are raising children, and of course that gets to a certain age that we are accountable for our own actions, but when we are raising children, especially like those teenage years before we even hit adulthood, your parents shape a lot. Like our parents play a huge role than we think. When I say that, I mean, if you grow up and you might have parents that really don't care what you do, and you really get to do whatever you want to do, you might be middle school, high school, them teenage years. If you have parents that really don't care what you do, and they kind of just, they what the world would call the cool parents, the laid back parents, the lax parents, you do whatever you want to do. And they let you run wild. They let you run wild. And then you find yourself in so much wickedness with a whole bunch of spirits, because your parents are not setting a watch over you. They're not training you up in the way that they should. And they're not keeping an eye out on you. And that's why Sirach tells us, that's why it says for the fathers to keep a sure watch over their daughter, lest she be shameless. That's why the Bible says that, because we want to make sure that we train up our children. And so that's why it's so important to train up our children. And that's a way of being good stewards, because these are the Most High's kids. And when we don't train up our children the way that they should go, because the Bible says train them up in the way that they should go, so that when they're old, they don't depart from it. When you don't train them up in the way that they should go, they're not gonna be in this word. They're gonna depart from this word. They're not gonna know this word, and they're gonna be doing all types of folly, madness, and wickedness, because we weren't keeping a sure watch over them as parents. We weren't training them up in the way they should go. And I'm not saying when you get an adult and you start doing all type of madness and folly, it's your parents' fault. I'm talking about when they're when us parents training our children the importance of that we are responsible over them, especially in these early young ages. But as long as they're under our care, and that's what stewardship is, they're under our care. As long as they're under our care, because when they go be an adults, get their own families, they're no longer in our care. Of course, it's still our kids, but as long as they're under our care, we are responsible for them. Okay, so it's very important that we're training up our children the way they should go, because parents have they play a big role, more than we think. So gifts and calling, good stewardship, using gifts to serve others. What we read in 1 Peter 4 and 10. We can read that again. I can never read it too much. 1 Peter 4 and 10, as every man have received a gift, even so minister the same one to another as good stewards of the manifold grace of God. So using your gifts to serve one another. Bad stewardship will be Saul's disobedience. Partial obedience is still poor stewardship. To obey is better than sacrifice. 1 Samuel 15 and 22. And also Jonah running from his assignment in Jonah chapter 1. Avoiding God's call doesn't counsel it, delays it. All right, good stewardship. Body as a temple. What we read earlier in 1 Corinthians 6:19. Your body is a temple. And resting, that is good stewardship. Over resting when need be. We are not praising burnout. No, go to bed, sis. Get some rest. Okay. Bad stewardship would be overindulgence and lacking control, neglecting wisdom. Um, so and good stewardship over the creation. Adam assigned to care for creation, and bad stewardship, waste and destruction. So, and they pollute Earth. The Earth is already polluted. So I mean, Esau got it coming for him, boy. But yeah, so Lord willing, all praise the Most High. I really pray and hope that this was edifying to sisters, and we can all reflect on: are you a good steward? Do you steward what you have well? Okay. Are you a good steward? Are you going to be found faithful? Are you a faithful steward? So all praise to the Most High, God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Yahweh, through his only begotten Son, Yahweh, whom Lord calls Jesus Christ. I pray that you continue to endure. You have a beautiful rest of your week, a beautiful rest of your day. And again, I pray that this was helpful to someone. I think this is really nice to the spirit. I praise the Most High. I love y'all. Shalom.